Okay, moms, it is the one thing that you are probably talking about today. It's this. If you have got girls at home, you're not going to like this story.
At all. Have you heard about this new study on girls hitting puberty younger than ever? It's scary, not just for the obvious reasons, but it could carry some serious health risks along with it, including cancer.
Okay, so here's the lowdown. This study was actually conducted at the Cincinnati Children's Hospital Medical Center, and it says girls are hitting puberty earlier than ever. The study followed about 1,200 7- and 8-year-old girls in 3 major cities and found at the age of 7, 10% of Caucasian girls and 23% of African-American girls had already started developing breasts. For 8-year-olds, 18% of white girls and 43% of African-American girls had already started puberty. Now, yeah, it's a big deal.
It is a huge deal, and it's very scary. And here's why this is a big deal. This same study was done back in 1997, and those numbers were significantly lower then.
We tried to get the study's authors to come on the show. They were not available today, but they did tell us there is one major reason why they think this is happening. And it's not going to surprise you. It's no secret these days. Kids are overweight. Doctors have known for years that obesity can speed up the body's biological clock.
Okay, if you're a parent, you're probably freaking out by now, and that's why we asked Dr. Bowman to come on the show to help us put all of this into perspective. Thank you so much for being with us, Dr. Bowman. Okay, now, does this surprise you that you're seeing these younger and younger ages?
No, it doesn't surprise me. We've been seeing this happening over years, so it doesn't surprise me exactly that this is happening. But it does have consequences in terms of these are little girls, and remember, when they're talking about puberty, they're talking about breast development. Usually periods start about, 2.6 years is the average after the breast development occurs.
Okay. So what are we talking about? Why does being overweight cause this to happen?
Well, we're not really sure. We're not really sure that that's the only reason, but what happens is you do get an increased release of leptin, L-E-P-T-I-N, and that's a hormone that causes and helps the puberty to happen. And leptin is made in fat cells, adipose cells.
Okay.
And so therefore, if you have more adipose cells, then the chances of having more leptin and the chances of speeding up the beginning of puberty is where we think this is going.
Okay, and there's a lot of other health risks that go along with, early maturation. Some of them include breast cancer. Is that true?
Well, yes, there is an increased risk of breast cancer if you start your periods really early, and it's thought to be the long length of time between when your periods start and when you go through menopause. So the fact that these young ladies are starting at a very young age, then that would imply that they're going to have longer years of having periods, and that does have some slight increased risk of breast cancer.
And these kids may only be 7 or 8, but they look like they're 13, 14.
This is where I think the real issue is, and this is where I think is the difficult things for parents, because yes, they're little girls, and mentally they're little girls, but their bodies are starting to look like certainly teens and up. And so I think this leads to some emotional issues. And I have heard friends of mine who have small children say their child is 6 or 7 and wants a bra. And so, kids are bombarded with sexual images all the time.
All the time.
And so if they're starting to develop at these young ages, you have to worry about all of the consequences of that with risky behavior, because they don't yet have the ability to sort this out.
They're kids.
They're kids.
Okay.
Little kids.
Yes. Thanks, Dr. Bowman, for coming in today.
You're welcome.